Okay, recruiters. This is about recruiters. If you're going to be applying for jobs, or if you've already started applying for jobs, then you may have already encountered a recruiter. Recruiters are basically like a middleman, and they find teachers for schools. And recruiters, they work on a commission, and they can make quite a bit of money per teacher recruited, and they don't get paid until they get a teacher for the school. So in most cases, they work privately, So they got their own business, and then they connect with schools, and they find schools who need teachers, and then they try to get a teacher for that school, and if they get a teacher for that school, then they get paid, and they can make a lot of money, or quite a bit of money, anyways. In Korea, they make around $1,000 per one teacher recruited, and sometimes more than that. I know one that made $1,100 per teacher recruited. So that's quite a bit of money, right? So you should know that they are essentially they're their own. They're operating independently in most cases, not all the time. Some of the big chain schools or big companies like Eon in Japan or YBM in Korea, they recruit, in-house. They have their own recruiters that work for that company, for that school, in Korea, I'd say it's very common, I'd say most people who get jobs in Korea probably go through a recruiter, You don't have to use one. Actually, in my experience, teaching English, in Asia, in China, Taiwan, and Korea, only one time. I only used a recruiter one time, and yeah, I'll just say to you that I don't like them. I never liked them, just in general. That's my my opinion. And some people have fine experiences with them, and I'm sure that there's some out there that they're okay. Really if they want to stay in business, they've got to do a good, they better do a good job if they want, longevity, because teachers are going to talk and the word's going to get out that they didn't do a very good job. I personally dealt with one, or I can say I dealt with, I got hired through one recruiter in Korea, and wow, no, that was a bad experience. For maybe a later post, I can go into that. So you should know that they're basically in business, and so some of them, apparently some of them are good, but I would also tell you that some of them they haven't even been to the school, and they don't know anymore. Some of them, they don't know any more than what they're posting on the website for the advertisement. So yeah. And in some cases, they can make, and opportunities sound better. You know what I mean? Because they know if they get a job for that school that they're going to get paid. So, some marketing, might go in there. They may make a job sound better than it is, or, they could stretch the truth a bit. In most cases, and they could lie. I think lying is probably, this is really on the bottom, and probably not many are going to lie, but I would say that they're going to stretch the truth, The other thing, how they get paid, I said that they got paid from the school. In most situations, I think it's like that. However, I know in Korea, I think as far as I know, it's all like that. I never met a recruiter that got paid from a teacher, but in Taiwan and in China, I know that there are some recruiters that require money from you. And how this works is maybe when you get hired, they're going to take some money from your first month's check. I think, but you don't have to do this. There's some people that require that, and I've interviewed with so many schools, different schools, and talked with a lot of different recruiters and stuff like that. I think it's kind of like going, you know, this style is kind of maybe old school and going away. The more common way now is because teachers don't want to pay them money, you know. Why should you pay them money, right? So I think the newer way is, you know, the recruiters are getting the school to pay them, you know. So I mean, like in Taiwan, the biggest company, recruiting company over there, Dewey, that's how they work, you know. The school will pay them money. But I've met other recruiters in Taiwan, more smaller, you know, smaller time ones, smaller companies or whatever, and you know, sometimes they'll take a percentage from your first check or something like that. I mean, they could ask for money up front or something, but yeah, don't do that. You don't have to do that. So I would just get another recruiter, even if they say they're going to take money, you know, unless you're absolutely desperate and you really need this job or that job, you know, I would avoid those jobs. I would just, if you have to use a recruiter, then get one that's getting paid from the school, you know. And you don't have to. You can easily get away without using a recruiter. Actually, pretty much my tactic for when I was in Korea was, you know, looking at job posts. You go to Dave's ESL Cafe, and it's like there's so many, and they start to all look the same. And so my method was I just looked for the ones that were like direct, you know, hiring direct from schools, you know. I prefer it just to deal directly with the school. The middleman is just, you know, it's not advantageous to you in any way, you know. I think it can complicate the situation for you. Okay, so if you're going to use a recruiter, here's three questions that you can ask them. Question number one, you can ask them if they're registered with the Japanese or Korean or Chinese insert country labor board. And if they are, you can ask them what is your license number, you know. Question two, ask them, have you been to the school? Have you been to the housing? You know, ask them that, right? And number three, just talk to the school. You know, ask the recruiter to talk with the school. You know, some recruiters will connect you to the school. So yeah, again, my experience, I never liked them. I never liked recruiters. You know, so and yeah, so but some people have fine experiences with them. But I think now that you know this, you should be pretty much set, and you should be fine. You know. Ask to talk to the school and get in there like that. You know, it should be good to go.